Easy. Bunch of animals here tonight. I haven't heard such applause since a fat lady sat on Richard Simmons. Get off, Porky! I can see this crowd has the Christmas spirit. Would the pages please take it away from them so we can get going here? All right tonight, Tom?
Very well.
Ed is not feeling well. He had a little surgery a week or so ago, and yeah. Well, you folks are laughing at surgery. If you knew where the surgery was, you would not be laughing. And I won't go into any more details. That's a bad word to use. Details, anyway. Doc is standing in for Ed, who is also standing somewhere tonight. You can make up your own jokes from there. This is the, as you know, December the 7th, and I'm going to try and not repeat history by bombing tonight. Tough to imagine that was 41 years ago, right? 41 years ago. Doc was wounded on December 7th, 1941, because the draft bill was passed and he shot himself in his foot. Wish I'd have thought of that. We've been having some weird weather out here the past few days. We had a storm a couple of weeks ago, and then we had 3 days of gorgeous weather, and the airport was closed last night. How many of you were going to try to leave Los Angeles and could not get out because of the fog? Everybody, okay. It was really foggy out there. You all get paid, you know, if this show is re-shown. The visibility was so low on Santa Monica Boulevard, a guy tried to pick up a girl. On Hollywood Boulevard, it was so foggy that flashers were handing out relief maps of themselves. At the airport, all the Hare Krishnas were grounded. Is that about enough of that? Anyway, I spent the weekend with some friends on their houseboat at Malibu. It started out as a condo. Weird. Terrible thing happened here in Hollywood over the weekend. The acid fog turned all of the pink Christmas trees green. Do you know anybody would buy, have you seen a pink Christmas tree? No, there's something wrong there. Christmas trees should be green, right? I can hear Andy Rooney. Andy Rooney would do that. Why is it they have pink Christmas trees? I don't understand that. I don't want a blue Christmas tree. I want a green Christmas tree. Anyway, it was a rough week here in Los Angeles. Several 100,000 people were without heat and electricity from the rainstorm. And I suffered too. My backup generator failed, and I had to lower my drawbridge by hand. No, it's true. I had no heat at all, but I kept warm by setting fire to my DeLorean stock. That's not too funny a joke. Anyway, we're into the holiday season, and that's why people get happy. It's holiday time, right? It's only 20... How many days? 25 days till Christmas now. Can't be 25 days to Christmas. 18 days to Christmas. Never was too good at math, but you can always tell when the holiday season is here because all the commercials on television are either for wine or alcohol abuse clinics. Do those wine commercials drive you crazy on television? They drive me nuts. I saw one last night. Guy comes on, a wine expert. And he says, I compared a bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild with Herbie's California wine. And I can honestly say nothing beats Herbie's California wine. Come on. No way. have some good news and some bad news for you. Good news, of course, is Christmas is less than 3 weeks away. The bad news is the White House still cannot find 3 wise men. Well, now, I don't know about you. I love Christmas. It's a warm time to get together with your friends and family, but between now and Christmas, you're going to see more Christmas specials than you have ever wanted to see on television. They've started already. I saw one the other night. It was some Christmas special. They've got some exciting things this year. For example, Johnny Cash sings Christmas carols to Charles Manson. Should be big. Perry Como goes to Bob Hope's house to entertain his Bob family at Christmas. And Two on the Town trails Andy Williams as he tries to rent a family for Christmas. And then there's a biggie. Oh, boo yourself. There's a really big 2-hour Christmas extravaganza in which starring Interior Secretary James Watt, in which he flies to the North Pole to thin out Santa's reindeer. Could be a nice act. Well, we ought to see what's going on politically. That's where all the good jokes are, what's going on in the country. I understand today President Reagan just offered military aid to Juan Valdez if he can prove he doesn't torture his mule. The senior citizens in this country just figured a way to get aid from the Reagan administration. They're all moving to Honduras. That's the way to do it. Did you read that the Reagan administration also wants to cut disability benefits unless recipients can prove they're too disabled to work? Now, the test for that is very simple. To prove you're disabled, what you have to do, you have to go to David Stockman's office, which is at the top of the Washington Monument. And there ain't no elevator in the Washington Monument. Maybe there's hope for David Stockman now that they've developed an artificial heart. Well, I just reported. Anyway, tonight, we got a good show for you. Mr. Jimmy Stewart is here tonight. A very funny young comedian, Garry Shandling, is here. And a young lady, as far as I know, has never appeared on national television. She is a singer that you do not know, but you will meet her later tonight. Her name is Stephanie Reach, and she will be out here. So thank you for coming, and we'll be back to get you. Thank you. Hello, Doctor.
How are you?
Oh, you're looking great.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Did you get Christmas catalogs mailed to you? Most people do? Most department stores mail out Christmas catalogs. We have a couple of them here. And no matter how bad the economy is, and this year it is not good, some people seem to find money for the most outlandish gifts. Now, there's a wonderful department store, a Sakowitz department store, which is located in Houston. I think also one is up in Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, Neiman Marcus, that they are located all over the country, but I guess mainly in Dallas is their main store. They have some gifts that you can actually purchase if you wish to go for this. And I'm not making them up. It's too small to see this, so we've typed up the description, but this is one of them now, for example. Sakowitz is offering this year, you can surprise the family with your own personal home computer consultant. That's right. Services range from the basics of selection and use to the ultimate software system designed expressly for you. Prices vary according to your taste and requirements, from $2,000 to $500,000. I mean, that's a lot of consulting. Sakowitz is pleased to present the 24-karat gold card. This is an elegant 24-karat likeness of the American Express gold card. It is individually engraved with the owner's name. I mean, it's an American Express card in gold, $3,000. Wait, if you got $3,000, you don't need a card, do you? You just hand him the money. You don't need a card. Here's one I know. You want to mark this down because there's going to be a big demand for this. And make your plans early. You can have a spectacular white tie and tails evening in New York at the 21 Club with a special performance by Bobby Short. Just you and 100 of your closest friends will savor 21's gourmet fare and vintage wines. The tab for that little evening is $103,500. Believe that? The American Institute of Wine and Food, the international organization devoted to the study of gastronomy, invites you and a guest for a weekend in San Francisco focused on wine and food education. Personal demonstrations by professional chefs of 8 of your requested recipes will be videotaped for your private use. That's $30,000. Did you know you can buy your own full-size roller coaster? The roller coaster will be specifically built for your backyard. If you got a small yard, you get a small one. These are folks, I'm telling you. The roller coaster will be designed for you. It'll consist of one train with 4 6-passenger cars, skid brakes, covered loading platform, and mechanical lift. It's advertised in the catalog for $2,450,000. Boy, I want to get that quick. Probably 2 for $4,000 or $1 million. Neiman Marcus, you can get a tricycle that seats 2 people, can travel on the water for $1,495. I didn't see this one before. You can bring in your old furs to the Neiman Marcus Fur Salon. You see, when it's really expensive, it's salon. And they will cut it to fit your dog.
That's the one for me.
For $125. A woman has a fur coat. Neiman Marcus is also selling leather doggy biker jackets. For $75. Now, there are a lot of people out working in this country. Just to hear these things, you grind your teeth a little bit. Now, those are some of the things in these catalogs, but we've got our own shopping staff here at NBC. Went for things that are not quite that expensive. So they looked around and found some unique items that there were not in Sakowitz or Neiman Marcus. For example, here's what our staff came up with. For $1,100, for the fattest person on your Christmas list, you can get World Trade Center designer jeans. For $1,400 for that lonely bachelor, Jessica Savage flavored dental floss. Weird. Okay, how about for $2,200 you can purchase a new video game, very hot this year, where you have to zap an electronic sleeping wino before he spits up on your shoes. It's called Six Pac-Man. For $2,000, now here's a really weird one, but for $2,000, ventriloquist Sherry Lewis will show you how to neuter your cat using a talking sock. For $64,000, a spy will be parachuted into Havana and spray paint a filthy Spanish word on Fidel Castro's carport. Now, for you people who are history buffs, for $45,000, you get a rare 1942 audio tape of Winston Churchill's nurse saying, "Put out the cigar, sir, and fill this up to the top." It's the only one. For X-rated film buffs, for $287,000, you can have an artist airbrush the clothes off Spanky and Alfalfa in all of the Little Rascal films. This one is just too weird. No, sure, easy for you. No, sure. No, I'll tell you what. Sure, easy for you. You don't have to get the mail. You people are out. You're on your way home. The letters come to me. I'll do that one for you later. For $19,000 plus expenses for that special bachelor, a team of wildlife experts led by Marlon Perkins will attach an orange marking tag to the earlobe of every easy girl in town. For $1,650 for the nudist who uses Pennzoil. You can have him flown to Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and get Arnold Palmer to sign his can. I think a wonderful gift for Not in there. We'll be back with Jimmy Stewart, Garry Shandling, and Stephanie Reich. Thank you. Well, guess who's here tonight? Everybody can imitate Jimmy Stewart. Everybody who thinks they're... If you start with... Let's try. Everybody just say... Well, just all together. Just try it. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3. Well, you see? 500 Jimmy Stewarts. He is probably America's most admired and beloved actor. He's made a new movie for cable television titled Right of Way with Betty Davis, which will be on early next year. Would you welcome Jimmy Stewart? Hi, well. How does it feel to be gang impersonated?
Gang impersonator.
Gang impersonator. I saw you the other night, Sunday night, I believe it was. All-Star Salute to Miss Carol Burnett. And you were singing.
Yes.
Yes. Was it You'd Be So Easy to Love? Was that it? You hadn't sung since about
1936.
Right, 36.
And then I did, there was a picture with Eleanor Powell called Born to Dance. And I said, it was Cole Porter music, you know, and they said I was going to sing this song.
Was this in a park scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about this, but I pre-recorded it and I sang it in the picture, but I didn't see any of the picture, but I went to the preview down at Long Beach, and I'm naturally sort of waiting for the song, waiting to hear the song, and when the song came on, it wasn't me. No, they put another fellow in singing it. He had kind of an English accent, and it's a little disturbing. And I found out later, though, that on the way back in their limousines, you know, the powers that be and the producers, they decided that the Cole Porter song was so good that they'd leave me do it because even I couldn't hurt it too much. and so I ended up singing the song.
You finally did it. Yeah.
Just about the way I sang it the other night.
Yeah. I see you on television occasionally doing some promotion for the Boy Scouts of America. Were you a Boy Scout?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Troop 3, Indiana, Pennsylvania.
I'll be doggone. Yeah. Scouts Honor, huh? Isn't that the... Troop 3?
Troop 3.
I mean, there were only 2 before? That's a long time ago, I mean.
Well, way back then, it wasn't a very big town.
Yeah. What did you do? What rank did you become?
Second class.
That's pretty good? I was never a Boy Scout.
I didn't get to first. I missed out on life saving.
Oh.
And we did it in the YMCA pool. You took the test and everything.
Yeah.
The guy'd be in the water and I'd jump in after him, but then somebody'd have to jump in and save me. And I never got that, and I never got I always wanted to get to be first class, but I second class scout.
Not a good swimmer, huh?
Not a good swimmer.
Yeah.
I've always felt I was really skinny. And I felt, as I went through the water, I'd sort of like a knife going through the water. I didn't have enough, I couldn't float.
Yeah. I'm sorry you didn't make first class.
That's a alibi.
Yeah. You know, I found out when you went to college, you studied architecture, yet you didn't do very well in math.
Hated it. It hated me. I'm no good in mathematics.
Yeah?
All right, strangely enough, in geometry, in plane geometry, and in a thing called descriptive geometry that I took that ended up to be a sort of a prerequisite for architecture. I took it in Princeton and got it in, but that was all right. But for some reason, algebra is a criminal as far as I'm concerned.
I'm with you. Geometry was kind of pretty in a way because there were lines and you could kind of see figures, but
I think so. Yeah.
Algebra, I can still remember questions like, Mary is 18. In 4 years, June will be 2 years older than Mary if Mary was half as old as June is now. How old is June? And you say, who cares? I mean, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Remember those questions? Could never figure that out. Should have had your accordion.
Lady of Spain.
Yes. Should have brought the accordion along. Speaking of not having problems with algebra, I would assume, as long as you've been acting, that you have a good memory for remembering lines. And you've said yourself that you find it difficult to memorize.
No, I've always been a bad study.
Really?
Yeah, it's taken a long time, and I really have to take time to get the lines. I got so mad at Hank Fonda, Bogart, and everything. They read a page over a couple of times, they know it perfectly.
Well, that's nice for young actors to hear, because you make it look so easy, and yet you find it...
No, I really, this thing I did with Betty Davis, I took a month to just learn the lines.
You'd never worked with her before, had you?
No.
That's interesting. You would have thought in your career, as long as both of you have been in the business, that you'd have worked on a picture together.
Well, I don't know. I was a contract player at MGM. She was at Warner Brothers.
That's right. In those days, that didn't happen, yeah.
You know, that sort of a different way of doing things as is now.
So it took you a month to memorize the lines.
To get, it isn't only a question of memorizing them. It's a question so the lines, you can think about movement, you can think about listening to other people, you can think about actually acting visually,
right,
and don't have to worry about thinking about what's my next line.
Yeah, so it looks spontaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you did that film how long ago?
I finished a couple of weeks ago.
Do you remember any of the dialogue?
Not a word.
I mean, once you've done it, that's...
No, that's it. Yeah.
And I know you're not going
to... Very good dialogue, too.
Yeah?
Good, yeah. It's a beautifully written screenplay.
But you just don't remember any of the...
I just don't...
And I know it's called Right of Way, and I know you don't want to tell the story because it's...
Well, it's a very serious
Yeah.
thing, as a matter of fact, but it's kind of like a mystery.
Yeah.
And you don't want to tell who did it. You don't want to tell the end of the thing. So I'm just hushed up about it.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to let this night pass because out of as many times as you've been on this show, at least 60 or 70% of the time, you read a poem about things that have happened to you and your trips, or about your youngsters, or about the trips to Africa and so forth. Do we get a poem tonight?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
Well,
You think we could hear it?
Well, I like all of the poems, I have to explain about them first.
Yes, sir.
And this, it may be familiar to you because of what's coming. Anyway, and this was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Gloria and I took our twin daughters to Africa, and on a photographic safari, which we've done before. And Gloria and I always take still pictures, but I thought it'd be a nice thing to buy a movie camera for the twins.
Right.
So I got them the little Super 8 movie camera, and we went over and they learned how to use it in no time at all, and the light was good, and there were lots of animals and everything, and it was going fine. But one morning we woke up in camp, and nobody could find the camera. And we looked every place, and then I suddenly remembered that I had left the camera in its leather case outside the tent the night before. And the guide said, "Whoa, hyenas. Hyenas." And they said, "Let's look around." Well, sure enough, 100 feet from the one thing left of the leather case, the camera, the lens was torn off. There were great, enormous teeth marks in the camera itself, and the camera was ruined. Well, it was kind of sad at the campfire that night and everything, and I decided to write a poem about it. But I decided to write the poem from the point of view of the movie camera. And can I?
Yes, please.
Can I do this? Good. Well, now,
good thought.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to do the whole thing because well,
you won't remember any of it tomorrow anyway.
Here it is. I'm a movie camera. Instamatic is my name. I'm Eastman's latest model. Super 8's my claim to fame. I was on a shelf in Westwood when an actor purchased me and took me home to his twin girls in Hills the Beverly. And soon I comprehended what my mission was to be. I'm to photograph the animals in Kenya across the sea. And then it goes on about going under a chair in an airplane and to Africa and then to the jungle camp. And the light was good and strong, and the kids learned to use me very well and everything. And then, come back to the poem, then there came the highlight in a leopard blind one day when Kelly took a picture as the leopard stalked its prey. Well, they praised my work in camp that night, and I just burst with pride. But if they liked my work so much, why'd they leave me here outside? And suddenly there was a tug upon the leather case, and as wind whipped across the campsite, I was dragged across the place, and the slobbering jaws clamped down on me. If I could only shout, and it picked me up and shook me, and then it spit me out. And so I'm all in pieces. My career is ended now. I don't know what the future holds. It matters not somehow. I hope the twins will think of me. I hope the thoughts are good. I'm just a movie camera, and I did the best I could. Thank you, and I read this. You let me read it about 3 or 4 years ago, but last year I read the poem on British television, and a very nice English woman wrote me a letter, and she was very nice about the poem and said she liked it and everything, but she said she also liked to write poetry, and so she said she would write a poem, and she enclosed a poem that she'd written, only this was from the point of view of the hyena.
Fair is fair, yeah.
And here it is. I'm a big hyena, very handsome, as you know. An accident befell me and left me feeling low. I grabbed a tasty morsel outside an actor's tent. I took a chunk and ended up with teeth all cracked and bent. It didn't do them any good. They fell out one by one, like tombstones in the jungle dust, just shining in the sun. What good is a hyena without his string of pearls? Like dogs without their barking, or poodles with no curls. My pals would have hysterics if they saw my toothless smile. They'd snarl and call me gummy. I'd have to run a mile. The others eat the food up before I have a say. I dare not give a laugh, though. I'd give the game away. I cannot eat the tough meat. My ribs are poking through. My stomach rumbles every night and in the daylight, too. We take our teeth for granted and all the things they do. I only give a gum now to flesh I used to chew. I am a social outcast. Just hang my head in grief. I'd like to find that actor, but oh God, I miss my teeth.
You two ought to team up. That's wonderful. You and the lady from England may have a career going here. You could write one version, and then you could look at it from her point.
Yeah, well, she's very nice.
Yeah. You still get letters from fans of yours that have been writing you ever since your career began, right? Still regularly write you?
Yeah, 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah?
Still, 40, 45 years ago.
Do you still sit down and take a day to answer mail and send out pictures and stuff like that?
I answer most of my mail.
Yeah.
And the photographs and send them out and so on.
Yeah. How about your autobiography? Now, there's been a trend in Hollywood, as you know, lately with autobiographies, where people reveal almost everything about their personal life, their sexual life, people they've been with. It's unusual. You thought of writing the story of your life?
Well, I've thought about it. People have talked to me about it. I may do it one of these days.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to do. I'd sort of like to do it with humor. I'd sort of like to do and tell about the nice time I always had on the show of yours.
Well, that's nice. That's very sweet.
You know, tell about sort of the feeling I've had about my profession and sort of how lucky and how fortunate I've had and what a wonderful life I've had. I may do that one of these days.
Yeah. Well, we've had the luck and fortune having you around to watch you all these years.
Well,
It's been our good luck.
Thank you, John.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Jim, I thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure having you here. Would you come back with us whenever you'd like? Want to spend
Wonderful,
some time?
John.
Thank you.
Always
It's always
enjoy
a
it.
great pleasure.
Thank
you,
very
Jim.
much.
As they say, one of a kind.
Charming,
right?
Jim.
One of a kind. My next guest, you're in a great mood tonight, which is always good when you have a young comedian coming out here. He's very funny, and he'll be appearing this weekend at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, California. And on the 5th of January, he'll open at the Punchline in San Francisco for a week. Would you welcome Garry Shandling? Garry?
Thank you. Gee, I've been real busy. Thanks for asking. I just flew in from, let's say, Baltimore, and I'm getting off the plane, let's say, and a woman runs by me with wheels on the bottom of her suitcase. Have you seen these things? I mean, she's moving. You know, it's jacked up in the back. There's mags on it, and there's a woman racing her on the other side going, is that a Samsonite 250? That's a fast bag. That's a very fast bag. The stewardesses. Stewardesses are weird. Any stewardesses here? They're weird. I mean, they actually have the nerve to explain how to operate the seatbelt. Have you gone through this? And it's an ordinary car seatbelt. Am I right? I mean, if you can't figure this out on your own, don't even listen to the part about the mask. You're a dead person, all right? This thing's going to come down. You're going to go, oh, no. Oh, hello? Hello? There's air coming out of my telephone. Then they have, what else? They have this flight recorder, the black box. So if the plane goes down, you can hear what the pilot said to know what caused the accident. They ought to have this thing on cars so you can hear what caused the accident. You hear guys yelling stuff like, those are the biggest boobs I've... Boom! I think we know. Or is it just me? Then who are these guys with compasses on the dashboards of their car? Have you seen it? Where the hell are they going? Ecuador or what? You get a map, you make some plans. I mean, when was the last time you asked directions somewhere and someone said, look, you go 4 degrees north and 3 degrees west? And you went, geez, if I only had a compass, I got an altimeter here. I'm ready to call the tower. Do you remember taking your driver's test the first time? I mean, it's such a sham, isn't it? Because you're careful, you signal, and then you never drive like that again the rest of your life. Am I right? They should make you drive. Okay, go ahead and applaud. All right. Now, no. They should make you drive like you really drive. Am I right? They should make women put makeup on in the rearview mirror during the exam. They should say, here's some rouge, take her up to 60, put this on, would you please? They should make guys play with the radio, hold a can of beer below window level during the exam. Thank you. And what else? The eye test, what a joke. They make you read the letters of the alphabet, which you don't need to see to drive. Am I right? I mean, they should make you identify things you see on the highway. You should have to go, it's a dead cat. I think it's a cop behind a bush. Do I pass? I have 2800 vision. I've talked about this before. I have horrible eyesight. When I go to the eye doctor, he swings that machine in front of me with all the lenses, tells me I got to wear this thing everywhere I go. Now I got to go into bars with this thing on and go, hey girls, better or worse? Better or worse? My eye doctor, he's like 25 years old, right? He's a practical joker, so help me. He's got pictures of his family on his desk, all blurred. There you go. I can't see a thing. He's so weird. They're not supposed to shave you before the exam, are they? And I'm going, my eyes are up here, Doc. My dentist is great. I got a young dentist, and they love to embarrass you, don't they? The dentist, they wait until your face is really numb from the Novocaine, and then they say, would you spit, please? And you go... Going all over me here. I can't feel a thing. And there's a beautiful dental assistant standing there going, that's attractive, Mr. Shandling. That's very nice. Well, you want to go out sometime? I'll wear the bib. It's No. That's very nice. You're very nice. We'll go out together. It's unfair that guys have to approach women. We're the guys that always have to go out on the limb like that. Women should approach guys because we're easy, aren't we, guys? I mean, yeah. Sure, we're tramps, basically. And because if a woman says, let's go back to my house, we're not going to go, gee, I don't know. I'm retaining water and, I don't know, but here's a fake phone number. Give me a call sometime. See, you stay with me. It's a double standard, isn't it? It's a double standard. And it's passed down to us from our parents. This is where it comes from, because I know a girl who asked her dad about making love when she was 12 years old, and her dad said, well, one day you're going to want to do that with one very special person. When I was 12 and asked my dad, he said, well, Gary, one day you're going to try to do that with everyone you can. Just tell them you're that very special person. I said, wait, Dad, that's weird. Because when you're 16, right, it's a double standard, and you're a guy and you go on a date, your dad says, good luck, son, go get her, score, I want a good report in the morning. The mother never turns to the daughter and says, make him beg for it, tease him, frustrate him. Look at The first time I was in Las Vegas, this is a true story, I was 18, right? And we had no dates. I was with a friend of mine from college, and they have escort services in the phone book in Las Vegas, and I needed to be escorted very badly. And my friend says, you call, and I was very nervous. We were at one of the big hotels, and I picked up the phone, and I dialed, and I said, hello, we're two real lonely guys, and we need some women, and we're real desperate. Pardon me? Dial 9 for an outside number?
I should explain what happened because we went a little long tonight. The young lady singer, Stephanie Reach, will be with us later this week, if possible, because you were rolling tonight and Jimmy Stewart was rolling. We kind of got backed up, and we have to do another commercial rather rapidly, don't we? Yeah. Very funny stuff tonight.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I hope you come back soon. Tomorrow night we have Franklin Ajay with us, Aaron Gray, and a gentleman by the name of Phil Garner, who apparently has got some very wild and bizarre inventions. Unusual, too. That's right. What would I do without you? Let's find out tomorrow. Good night. I'm humbled by that applause.